Hello, how you going? I thought today was as good a day as any to start a new what I wear and what I read in a week vlog. Basically in these videos we just hang out for a week or so and I tell you everything I read and I show you every outfit that I wear. Just in like a regular week of my normal life. And it's usually quite a lot of fun. So grab yourself a cup of tea and let's hang out for the next week. As ever, I don't know exactly what I'm going to be reading or wearing. We'll discover that together as the week progresses. Having said that, I have just started a new book and it's a big one. It is a big book that I've had on my shelf for a little while now. I got secondhand actually from Savers originally. It's The Book of Form and Emptiness by Ruth Ozeki. Now I have read one book from Ruth Ozeki before. It was The Tale for the Time Being, which is a book that nearly broke me, if I'm going to be completely honest. I read it with you in a vlog a couple of years ago and it was one of those books that I loved so much about it. It was so unique, so incredible, so beautifully written, but it was heart-wrenching. It was a lot of discussion of mental health and bullying, really extreme bullying and suicide, to the point where I found it difficult to get through. Beautiful, incredibly written, and I knew at some point I would want to read more from Ruth Ozeki at some point, but it's taken me years. It's taken me years to finally feel up to it. You know what I mean? And so I have cracked open The Book of Form and Emptiness, and so far I love it. I really love it. I'm only like 50 pages in or so. I'm a little bit more, 70. And I'm learning quite quickly that Ruth Ozeki just likes to play with whatever the novel can be. You know, she's quite a conceptual author, I would say. Basically, this book is like a sentient book that is telling us a story. And it's telling us the story of a boy named Benny who can like hear objects, including books. Like he can talk to books, or he can at least hear books talking to him. And we meet him just as his father has passed away when he's like 9 or 10, I think. And this is Benny's book. This is the book about Benny's life, basically. And it is the book talking to us, like it's direct to reader. Although Benny sometimes chimes in to like correct the book or like get angry at the book for the way the book is telling the story. So it's kind of weird. It's kind of conceptual, right? But it's beautifully written. And it had me tearing up on like literally page 9, like the way that these relationships and the characters are brought to life so beautifully, so fully, so quickly. I am a little bit apprehensive. I feel like she's going to break me with this book at some point. I'm fully expecting it because like the Tale for the Time Being did. It like broke me, and it took me weeks to get through that book, and then it took me a few weeks to like want to read anything else afterwards. I'm hoping that's not going to happen here in this video with The Book of Form of Emptiness, but I have to admit it's a possibility. It truly is with Ruth Ozeki. So even though I'm terrified, I'm kind of terrified of this book, I am really enjoying it so far. Having said that, I have just picked up a proof from work of a book that's coming out very soon. It's the second Impossible Creatures book. I can't quite believe I have this in my hands. The perks of being a bookseller. Sometimes you get books early. Now, if you're not aware, Impossible Creatures was maybe the children's book of the year in 2023. I think it literally was in the UK. It definitely felt like it in at least my bookshop. And indeed, I'd argue it was probably the book of the year for 2024 as well. It's one of the few books that everyone that I know that I work with that's read it loves it. Like it's the one book we all agree on. Obviously we all have our own tastes and stuff, and that definitely comes through in our recommendations, but we all love to hand sell Impossible Creatures. It's just that good. It's a middle grade fantasy written by Kathrine Rundell, who is just a beautiful writer again. It's a portal fantasy kind of story in which our main character, Christopher, he's from our world. He discovers quite early on in the book that he is basically going to inherit being the guardian of this portal fantasy realm where all of the creatures from mythology and folklore that we know like actually are real. They exist there. And so he goes into this world and meets a girl who has like a baby griffin, and they end up on a big quest adventure sort of thing. It's so well done. And it was just incredible. It was incredible as a standalone. But to discover that we've now got book 2, and I think it's going to be like a 4-book series or something, I've heard. I could be wrong. Point is, I couldn't be more excited. But obviously when a book is that good and you get a sequel, there's always a bit of apprehension about how it's going to be executed. But if any author can pull it off, it's Kathrine Rundell, because she is just kind of one of those authors that I have faith in. She's such a good storyteller and a good writer that I kind of can't see this not being at least very good. I'm hopeful it's going to be excellent. And all it says on the back is obviously uncorrected limited edition proof, and it says, "Come with us now. There is justice to be done." So I do feel like because I have this, because I'm lucky enough to have this before this book comes out next month, I need to read this too. So we might be kind of moving back and forth between the two, and then I don't know, we might be reading some other things as well. We'll just have to wait and see. As for my outfit, I'm really comfy. I'm loving what I'm wearing today, but I will show you the full thing when we head out on our WALK a little bit later. For now though, I'm going to have a cup of tea and do a little bit more reading. So I'll chat with you soon. Hello, it's a few hours later and we're about to head out for an itty bitty bird walk. We have been getting back out and looking at birds, although, I mean, if you're around, you'll know that I was in a car accident back in May. And my souvenir from that accident was some good old fashioned whiplash, which has been difficult to get on top of and has definitely been impacting me in a lot of ways. But one of the most tragic is that I wasn't able to go birding. It just was hugely painful. Obviously, there's a lot of looking up and looking around, and even lifting binoculars, that motion with a decent amount of weight was just causing a huge amount of pain. Anyway, although we are not out on our 3 or 4 hour big birding sessions that we were doing quite regularly before my accident, we have been doing 45-minute, 60-minute little local bird walks once a week, which has been, so nice. So nice to be back out, meeting all my bird friends. It's just the best. So we're heading out this afternoon for a little bird walk. Today we've got a very pink and brown with some hints of green theme going on. I've been wearing these pants, which are my latest thrift acquisition. These pants are originally from Variety Hour, a local indie brand. I had these pants in my cart for months, even though I knew I wasn't going to be buying them because I'm not buying very many things firsthand this year. I just loved them though. I mean, look at them. And then somebody on Depop was selling these along with another pair that I had in my cart for so much cheaper than the original price. Anyway, they're just amazing. They're just a elastic waist, but I love how the waistband is green, and then we've got this pink embroidery down the side. They're just so cool. I have paired them today with my pink and grey striped waffle knit top that I've had from Obus for a couple of years, another local indie brand. And then we've got my secondhand Barbie X Rolly shoes, which are just so fun and definitely going with the pink and brown. As for accessories, I hadn't really thought too much about what else I was going to be wearing today, but Blair has just come back from going to get our groceries, and he said it is a bit windy and a bit cool, so I've thrown on my purple, very, very light purple carpenter jacket. I love it. I wear it all the time. And then I've thrown on a very colourful hat. I know some of you hate my summer hats. I don't care. I love them. They're useful, and I like that they're colourful, and I like that this brings in a bit more colour than just the brown and the pink. And then the one thing I feel doesn't really work with this outfit is my scarf, just because of how deep it is, and I don't feel we have a lot of other deep tones. This feels very mid-tone in terms of saturation, but I did want to wear a scarf because of the aforementioned whiplash. I do just find it keeping my neck warm and everything, especially when I'm going to be using it, is good. Anyway, that's the outfit. I don't want to talk anymore because I want to go look at birds, so I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Good morning, folks. I've arrived early at work to tell you that I've started the new Impossible Creatures. So obviously this is not going to be the final cover, although this is kind of glorious for a proof. As I mentioned, Impossible Creatures is just one of the best middle grade books I've read in a long time. It's such a good fantasy story. It's just one of those books that you know the second you read it that it's going to become a classic, that you're going to hand sell it if you're a children's bookseller all the time. And I do. We struggle to keep it in stock because I and my colleagues love it that much. And so do the kids. We always get great feedback on it. Anyway, we were so excited when a proof showed up. And we kind of like just automatically assigned order of reading the proof by like who discovered Impossible Creatures first and who has been most enthusiastic about recommending it. And I was second on the list. So at first I was kind of thinking I would finish the book that I was reading before, the Book of Form and Emptiness, but I've realized that I need to get through this quite quickly so that I can pass it on to the next person to read. It's only fair, you know, I don't want to hoard this basically. And so last night I started and I'm about 60, 70 pages in and I'm already in, you know what I mean? And it's just so readable. We're back with Christopher, who is the main character that we get to know in the previous book. And basically he's been called back to the portal fantasy realm. But then we pretty quickly go from following Christopher to getting introduced to a whole new character who's this like reluctant princess who has these like intelligent, sentient birds as friends. So obviously I'm enjoying that element. There's a bit of like a murder mystery thing happening, which I feel like is just happening more and more, even in fantasy books recently. Murder mystery is definitely having a moment. The genre itself, but then also, you know, the tropes, I feel like bleeding into other genres too. The chapters are really short. I don't remember the chapters being this short from the first Impossible Creatures, but maybe it's been that long. But all of the chapters are like 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 pages long, which sometimes does feel a little stilted, but at the same time, it just makes it so readable because like every time you're sitting down to read, you're like, oh, I only have to read 3 pages. And then, oh, the next chapter is only 4 pages. I might as well read that too, you know? You definitely build momentum, which I think is great for me as someone who's been struggling to read physically a little bit lately, but also for young readers. So I'm just really in. I'm really in. I love this series. I think my favorite part about this series, aside from the characters, is the fact that it's basically just filled with mythological creatures. Essentially, the premise of the story in the first book is that all of the creatures from mythology are real. They've just been put into this portal fantasy realm to protect them, which is why we get like at the back of the book, well, it was in the front originally, but it's in the back now, like a bestiary full of all of the different creatures. And at least in the first book, I think we met every single one, whether it was that they became main characters essentially, or we met them in passing, but it felt so rich and alive in that way. And I loved it. Anyway, I couldn't be happier to be getting into the new Impossible Creatures. And I feel very, very privileged to be reading it early. Anyway, my outfit. What am I wearing today? Well, contrary to popular belief, I do actually like and wear my trench coat. So that's what I'm wearing today. Let me show you. Layers is the name of the game today, as is often the case in Melbourne. It was very fresh this morning, but I mean, now that I'm at work, I've got the heaters on. So I'm not going to be wearing my trench coat today, but it did get me here. Underneath though, I've just got my striped blue top that I love with my brown jeans that I also love and my Lucy and Yak cardigan. Again, another layer, essential. I think it's going to stay pretty cool well into like mid-afternoon and then, you know, the sun will heat things up at least a little bit. I do have my scarf on, again, because it's a bit cool and because I've been a bit sore, my neck, my whiplash, this does help just a little bit and I'll take what I can get. And then, I mean, they're not the cutest things in the world, but I'm just wearing my blue Hokers. I think they work with this and I just wanted to be comfortable. Obviously, being a children's bookseller, I'm literally just on my feet all day, running around, stacking books, fixing up the shelves, serving customers, recommending books. That's what I do. So comfort is always number one. Anyway, that's the fit. That's what I'm reading and I'll talk to you tomorrow. See ya. Hi. I feel like everything is against me filming today. For a while, I thought I wasn't going to film because I haven't read enough and you've already seen this outfit. So like, what's the point? But then I decided that, you know, that in itself was a representation of my day and my life at the moment, that I'm an outfit repeater and that I read varying amounts each day, depending on my mood and what else I'm up to. So today is a very accurate portrayal of like what I read and wear in a week, you know? So I took my little camera, my little microphone out on my walk with Ollie, thinking that I'd get a cute little outdoors shot for you. And the wind. The wind is mad in Melbourne at the moment. It often is this time of year. I mean, changing day by day, of course, but it's just chaotic out there. It was that kind of wind, the kind of wind that I didn't feel comfortable sitting my tripod up anywhere because I knew it would blow over and destroy my camera. And you probably wouldn't even be able to hear me. So we're back indoors and we're going to quickly catch up on what I have been reading and what I am wearing, even though it's probably not all that interesting. I'm still reading the new Impossible Creatures. I feel like I'm not reading it fast enough given that other people at my work want to read it too. But I have read 50 pages since I last spoke to you, and there's 2 parts to this book. I think I've just finished part 1. So I'm at like 110, 111 pages. That's not too bad realistically. I just feel some external pressure to get through it quickly. A supply and demand issue, you know what I mean? And at the moment, I am hogging the supply. Anyway, point is, I'm really enjoying it. I'm loving the new Impossible Creatures. I couldn't be happier about it. I'm loving the princess we're getting to know. I'm loving that she has sentient birds as friends. Of course I'm into that. And I've just gotten to the point where Christopher and this princess are finally kind of like their storylines are converging. And I'm thrilled about that. I'm thrilled about the whole thing, really. It's very fast paced. So even though I feel like I'm not getting through it fast enough, like I know this is a book I could read in a day. That's just not how I'm reading at the moment. And without the external pressure of feeling like I need to get through this book so that other people can read it before it comes out, I'm really enjoying it. I'm having a good time. Anyway, my outfit. Should we talk about my outfit? I'm not winning any awards for the camera work in this video, but here's the outfit. Like I said, it's one you've seen before. This was loosely inspired by an outfit Ray put together for me for these pants. The outfit that she made wasn't quite working for me in terms of temperature and like, you know, the weather that we've got. So I riffed on it and came up with this. And I'm not sure exactly why, but this morning I woke up with this outfit on the mind and I just knew I wanted to wear it again today. And so here we are. As I've mentioned, everything here is secondhand except the top, which is just like a long sleeve rib knit. And then I suppose the other thing is the scarf because I made it. The jacket's secondhand, the jeans are obviously secondhand, and my Barbie shoes are secondhand. Oh, and so is the bag, of course. Anyway, that's your brief little update for today. I am off to work this evening, so I should probably go, but I will see you tomorrow. Bye. Hello. We're sitting in the ugly corner of the cafe today because it is fucking freezing. The weather is wild here today in Melbourne. It's a true 4 seasons in one day, kind of stereotypical Melbourne day. We've had lovely full 100% sunshine. We've had gusts of winds. We've had torrential rain, and we've had all of that cycle through 2 or 3 times, and it's like 11 o'clock in the morning. Oh, and there was also hail. That's right. It's been wild. And while it was a little bit sunny, we decided we would be brave and come out for a walk to get some coffee. And the weather has turned once again, of course. Anyway, so we're tucked away in the corner. It's not very pretty. Please forgive me. I'm not sure if we'll get a chance to show you the outfit outside. I might have to wait until we get home. But I thought I could tell you about the book that I'm reading still. I'm still making my way through the new Impossible Creatures. I'm well over halfway now though. And it's just really good. Obviously, I don't want to spoil too much. The book isn't even out yet. But if you have already read the first Impossible Creatures and you've been looking forward to the second one, at least so far, I can say with confidence that you'll enjoy the second too. It just has all of the same charm and whimsy, great characters, mythological creatures, all of that. There's a really good mystery at the center. Basically, a bunch of dragons in the archipelago are just dying, and that's why Christopher has come back to find out what's happening and to try and save them. And the stakes are high. Like, Kathrine Rundell is the kind of middle grade author who isn't going to mollycoddle the reader at all, but it also feels fun and whimsical and magical, and there's lots of funny one-liners and stuff too. It's just a really good middle grade story. And I suppose with all of that, if you haven't yet read the first one, you need to. Anyway, we're going to do our best to enjoy our coffee this morning. And then if the weather holds up, I will show you my outfit, hopefully in a cute little outdoorsy setup. Otherwise, I'll show you when we get home. Hello, we have a tiny little window of sunshine, although it's starting to drizzle again. So we need to make this quick, and it's getting windy again. So I hope you can hear me. This is my outfit for today. Very colorful, of course. I've got my gumboots on because obviously it just keeps raining. There's water all over the floor. I got one of my incredible Ober skirts. I love this thing so much. I'm wearing my blue Jericho Road oversized jumper. I've got a coat on, of course. I know it's not the prettiest thing in the world, but it works. Got the scarf that I inherited from Granny and a hat. And then, of course, just a blue bag because I had some stuff to carry around. But anyway, that's it. We need to get home because it's cold and I think it's going to rain again. I'll see you tomorrow. We're back at work. I actually took yesterday off because I just wanted like a nothing day. I didn't do all that much reading, but I did wear this outfit. It was very comfy. Comfy was the name of the game, although it was kind of cute too in its own way. Anyway, I have finished the new Impossible Creatures. Yay me. It took me longer than it should have, but I did it. And I really enjoyed it. There was one thing about the ending that I would have loved to see changed, just done in a bit of a different way. I think would have been even better. It really does feel like the series is going to go down as a classic. It truly, truly does. It's just that good and just that fun. And also there's some incredible lines and themes as well. I feel like quite a lot of this one is like there's a bit of an environmental message, but there's also a message about read. And I do want to say that I think it's pretty fucking ballsy for a British author to have a high-key anti-royalist message in her book. I'm not mad about it. I'm down with it. Anyway, that does mean that I'm back to The Book of Form and Emptiness by Ruth Ozeki. I'm very happy to get back to it. I'm excited. I feel like we're going to have 2 bangers in this video. Anyway, speaking of bangers, should I show you my outfit? This is she. This is actually very similar to an outfit one of you made me a while ago, I suppose. I did like put this together myself this morning or last night on Index. But now that I'm looking at it, it's very, very similar to an outfit that you made me. Look, the trench coat. I do wear the trench coat and I really like it in this. I've gone kind of neutral. I just was in the mood. I don't know what to tell you. Obviously, we've still got some blue and this is khaki green. My backpack's green. But I mean, we've got black shoes, black pants. Got the trench coat. Like, it is veering neutral, especially for me, but I'm comfy and I feel like that's the main thing. And I do really like this outfit too. Anyway, that's the outfit. I need to go get ready for work. I'll see you tomorrow. Hi. So I am back with The Book of Form and Emptiness, and I feel like I'm making some decent progress. I am up to chapter 19, page 154. So I've read like another 70 or 80 pages since the last time we checked in with this book. And how am I feeling? Well, I did say at the top of this video that I have long wanted to read another Ruth Ozeki, but I've been scared to. And I was kind of enjoying the first like 80, 100 pages, just kind of like having a good time. I feel like now I'm scared. I'm scared again. I'm scared of Ruth Ozeki and what she's going to do to me with this book. I feel like for the first little setup of this book, like obviously there are emotional moments, there are difficulties. There's definitely, it's not like just a breezy, cozy book or anything like that, but there's something really gentle and lovely to the way that it's written. And I think the way that Benny can hear objects and this book is told from the perspective of a book, like there's something kind of whimsical about that. And I was buying into the whimsy and Ruth Ozeki is now smacking me in the face with it. Do you know what I mean? Maybe I should have seen this coming, but I don't think this is a fantasy book. I think it's a book about like mental health and shit. You know what I mean? I don't know if that's how it's going to end up. Like it's one of those books where you don't know if this is like a psychiatric condition that Benny has or if it's like magic and it's lovely. Maybe that's the point. The fact is it's real for him. And when he's like 14 years old, some stuff happens where he ends up in a psychiatric hospital. And you may or may not know, I have a history of being admitted to a psychiatric hospital. And so it's not only is it just kind of getting a little bit more real than, you know, like a boy who talks to books. It's feeling way more real than that. It's also just hitting really close to home. The way that Ruth Ozeki described being in a psychiatric hospital, the mundaneness of it, the routine of it, but also like how nurses and stuff have so much authority over you to the point where like sometimes it's almost like a relief not to have freedom, but also it's kind of terrifying in how fucked up it can be. Even the way that she was describing Benny's experience post psychiatric hospital and just like how weird it is to be in a world where there's sharp things and like shoelaces. If you've never been in psychiatric hospital, like it's a strange, I'm getting emotional. Why am I getting emotional? It's a really surreal sort of thing, I suppose, is the best way I can put it. For a lot of us, it's literally traumatic, but even for those of us who it isn't, it does something to you. It changes something in you, whether permanently or temporarily, whatever. There's something about the way that Ruth Ozeki is talking about all of that stuff that is just, it's getting me squirming while I'm reading. Do you know what I mean? I feel like I need to like go and do some breathing exercises just thinking about this book. And to be honest with you, the tale for the time being, like, also kind of just hit me in some like way too close to the bone sort of things, and also just like so specific in the way that she has no need as an author to handle her characters gently, even the most, or perhaps in particular, the most vulnerable characters. She's one of those authors who writes so beautifully and creates these really thoughtful, expansive, almost like conceptual books, and yet she's utterly brutal with her characters. And I just don't know that I'm ready. I do want to read this book, but I also don't want to read this book. The Tale for the Time Being took me many weeks to finish back when I was reading like 150 plus books a year. So I should not have expected myself to be finishing this in one single week. Obviously, I know that makes for a little bit of a less satisfying video, but it is more real and much more realistic to how I'm actually reading these days. I'm not someone who gets super triggered easily by literature. I feel like I'm someone who can read some pretty fucked up shit and kind of like keep it at a certain kind of distance emotionally. I know for the book club that I host over on Patreon, a lot of my Patreons do let me know that sometimes I veer towards some pretty intense books and it gets a little bit much sometimes. But those are just often the kinds of books that I really love reading, you know? I'm not the kind of reader who's usually super easily triggered, even with stuff that feels like close to home to me or stuff that's really like detailed. However, clearly Ruth Ozeki is the kind of author that can just trigger me. I suppose that's the word to describe how I'm feeling. I'm feeling a little bit triggered. I'm in a bit of a fight or flight kind of situation with my nervous system. You know what I mean? Anyway, so I'm going to take some deep breaths and put this book down, at least for now, so that I can get ready to go to work and, you know, be a functioning person while I'm at work. Before I head off though, obviously I need to show you my outfit. I have already been like out and about today. Like I'm working kind of the evening shift tonight and I've already had an appointment and stuff. So I was wearing like, I'm going to keep wearing this for my base and I'll show you what I have been wearing today. But I'm wondering if maybe I might need to switch it up in terms of layers because I'm working this evening and I think it's going to be fucking cold. And I don't know if what I've been wearing today is going to quite cut it, but I'll show you anyway. Is this angle really conducive to showing you my outfit? Probably not, but it's the best we got right now. So this is what I was kind of like out and about in today. Like I said in a video recently, one of my most worn bases, this skirt and this jumper, I just love them together so much. Today I'm wearing my Rolly Weekender sneakers, obviously my hat and my scarf and my denim jacket. And earlier when I went out, I just needed like my puffer and my phone and my water bottle. So I had my little water bottle holder. Now that I'm heading to work, I think, you know, I'm not going to like unpack my backpack and try and pack it in a different bag. I'm just going to take my backpack. And obviously I think this works. I'm just a little bit concerned about the temperature later tonight. And so even though I love this, I am thinking that maybe I should switch out my jacket at least. I do love how the denim jacket works with this. I think it might be my favorite of the options. But I think for tonight, I'm going to go with the ugliest option or like the least fancy pretty option, and I'm just going to go the warmest, which is my dark purple jacket. So I think this is what I'm going to wear tonight. It might be slightly overkill, but I'd rather be too prepared than underprepared. I don't like being cold. I do also have just like some purple gloves that I knit myself in my bag pretty much all times during the winter. So if it gets super cold, I can put those on. The sleeves of the jumper don't really fit in here. Like, I don't know if you can see this. Can you see this? This is the jumper. So it's definitely like packed in, but it's not like so bad that it's really uncomfortable. And at the end of the day, that's just kind of a bit of a problem with this jumper. And also one of the reasons that I love the denim jacket with this is because it has such big sleeves. Anyway, hi Ollie, what you doing, love? That's going to be the outfit for this evening. So just a bit of a switch up in terms of bag and jacket. But now I'm ready to head off to work and I will see you tomorrow. In the meantime, please wish me luck with this Ruth Ozeki book because I think I need it. Hello, we are once again out and about. We're grabbing a coffee, obviously. And I have to tell you, I haven't done any more reading. I think I am just a bit too scared of this book at this point. I don't want to give up on it. I just want to take my time with it. But as you know, today is the last day. So unfortunately, we're not going to be finishing the book. I'm so sorry. But this is not supposed to be like a reading vlog in the traditional sense where I read a set amount of books. This is supposed to be a realistic week in my life of what I read and what I wear. And it is realistic for me at the moment this year not to be reading multiple books a week. And I suppose if there is anything of note to share with you, you'll hear about this book in future. If it's a banger and I love it, you'll hear about it. If I hate it, you'll definitely hear about it. Are you okay, Ollie? Okay. Ollie's being a bit fussy. Blair's going to take her for a walk. Thank you, Blair. It is such a beautiful day here in Melbourne. I can't get over it. We'll show you later. It's really cold in the shade, but it is so sunny. It feels like the hints of spring. I know we're not quite there yet, but we're getting hints of it and it's making me so happy. Thank you. Good. Chai is here. Oh, so exciting. Nothing better than a good chai, is there? So I haven't been reading today. What I have been doing though is I did a bit of thrifting. I wasn't planning to film a thrift with me, but it became evident quite quickly that it was going to be a bit of a banger. It was going to be a good thrift day. So I kind of grabbed a few clips. I have no idea what they look like yet. I haven't been home. But let me know in the comments if you would like a kind of thrown together thrift with me or a thrift haul at the very least, because I had a good morning. I did. Anyway, I'm going to enjoy my chai and I'll check in with you very soon to show you my glorious outfit. I am feeling really good about this one. So it's so sunny out here that it's actually kind of hard to get an angle where you can see everything without it being too harsh. This might be the best problem I've ever had. It's too sunny right now. I'm so happy. Genuinely, I'm in such a better mood when the sun's out. Anyway, this is the outfit Like I said, despite how sunny it looks, it is still quite cool, especially when you're in the shade and when we get some wind. So I am appropriately dressed. I got my rolly derbies. I've got my favorite cold jeans, the ones with the orange flowers. The denim jacket. How many times have we seen this? You're going to just keep seeing it, okay? Got my green wool jag jumper, I think it was, that I got from Savers. It's so warm. I love it. A purple Radical Yes bag, just because I felt like we needed some other colors. I am wearing the Stay Toasty scarf that I knitted, and I was intending to wear my like brown one of these hats, but I couldn't find it this morning, so I ended up going with the green, and I'm not mad about it. I might have chosen the brown one if I could, but like both work fine, and it's nice to switch things up from time to time, you know? Anyway, that is the outfit. I really like this one. It might be one of my favorites, and this is the kind of outfit I wear an awful lot. I know I don't think I got to including this in my recent like favorite outfits of autumn and winter video, but if I had some spoons to film some more outfits, I would have included this, okay? Make no mistake. But anyway, that is it from me. I'm going to head off and go for a little walk with Blair and Ollie and enjoy our sunshine. A big thank you as always to my sunshines over at the Patreon, and especially big thank you to Livia, Haley and Belinda for their very generous support, and thanks for hanging out with me for the week. I hope you enjoyed. I'll see you next time. Bye.